Hey, Eric, you say you can read? Is that true?
Maybe.
What's the last book you read?
I read parts of Series 7 for Dummies.
Well, read my lips. You're a dork. This is a new episode of Two Guns, No Ammunition. I'm Billy Two Guns. We're No Ammunition. Thank you, Eric, for joining us again. For future reference, everybody in the room, he is the one who's furthest from a dork in this room. He's actually hits the gym every once in a while, right?
Sometimes.
I've been
slacking.
Yeah. He's got a cool haircut. You look like a European. All right, let's do a quick mic identifier. So what we do is we say one thing about ourselves for the listeners to associate to us, then we introduce ourselves. So I'm Big Billy. I did one mud run in my life, and I never did another.
Okay, fun fact.
And I'm Chris, and Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
I'm Genevieve, and I have dog socks.
Okay.
My name is Eric, and I do not look like a European.
Oh, man.
I can't tell what's happening.
My name's Jake. Fuck you.
The
end. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Sorry, Bill, you had more to say?
Yeah. Right. Well, first off, your pants don't go all the way to your ankles. Second off, you're a white...
That's a European thing.
Yeah, second off, you're a white person. Third off, your pants are slim cut. Fourth, your haircut is what all the soccer players are wearing. Okay?
Oh, boy.
Soccer players are wearing tattoos?
No, your haircut.
I heard that, but I'm saying as well. I'm jumping on board. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I mean, maybe you could sell maybe you could sell Eastern European.
Okay.
If you can squat with your heels on the ground, then I'll believe that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we have Chris back.
Hi.
Wonderful. It's good to see him.
We presumed you were dead.
Yeah.
Made all
Yeah.
these funeral arrangements.
From what I understand.
I mean, I was on this
exciting,
spirit quest. I had to go to Nepal, and I climbed up some mountains and talked to some bald monks and stuff, and had
learn
a
how to
spiritual
fight?
awakening. And I learned how to fight, and I'm actually Batman now. So
Ah.
Well, shorter than I thought Batman was. All right, so before we get into that, we'll get into where Chris has been, where he's been, what he's been up to. I want to share a little aside, a little gamble I made, so that you guys can revel in my mental problems. So I've been messing around on Robinhood, right? Because I'm like, fuck, I better start investing. I'm smart fella.
What is Robinhood?
Robinhood is an app on your phone that you can use to buy and sell stocks, cryptocurrencies, and options.
F's.
Yep. But the stocks are free. The trades are commission free. Now they make their money by like rounding up fractions of a penny, and they do all right. But it's been cool because I'm like, oh, well, instead of just keeping this money in the bank, I'll see if I can make any money. And I was doing really well, except for one stock, which has plummeted because I'm dumb, and I've lost twice as much as I made. So, but it's only cost me what, like $50 or something. So anyway, I decided today to try buying a stock option. And I said, this company by November 8th is going to lose 10% of its stock value. Yeah. And it cost me $135. And I was like I put it in, and I've dreamed about like being smart enough and having enough knowledge to buy options since I was a kid, trade stocks. And like, I never have been in the position where I could try it. And I did it today. And as soon as I did it, I was like, this was the dumbest shit I could have done. Because...
What did you buy?
Yeah, I would love to know what you bought.
You don't even have to tell me the stock. You already told us your attitude. Was it a call or a put? And did you buy it or did you sell it?
I shorted Uber.
Was it a call or a put?
No, he shorted. So
What does that mean?
He thought it was going to...
Well, it matters whether it's a call or a put.
What is a call
Uber.
or a
You
put?
can short a call or a put.
I mean, but if you say short...
Please just
Yeah,
let
I don't
him
know.
answer
Can
the
you
question.
guys explain?
Please just let him answer the question for me, and I will clarify later.
Okay.
I can't... I don't remember. Because I
You
saw
should
both
find
of-
out, because if you shorted a call, you're a fucking idiot. And buy it back.
Oh.
So put more money into it?
Stock.
That's not an option, though. He said he bought an option.
It is an option. I remember that.
Well, whatever I did.
Whatever he did,
I could lose.
It's a definitely a bearish position.
I could lose.
On the way up.
I could lose the cost of the thing, $135 or whatever I spent. But as soon as I submitted it, I was like, everything that I think is going to happen in the stock market does not.
No.
Or in like a new service comes out, I'm like, that service is going to fail. It succeeds. That's a good service. It goes away. Like the best investments I've made were like these dog shit silver mining companies. And I was like, oh, 40 cents a share. Goes up 15% 2 days later. I'm like, what the I should put more than $30. I'm always wrong. Always wrong. But I said, I bet $135 that I know what's going to happen with Uber in the next fucking week. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm sitting there fantasizing like, what if I made money? Then I should have bought like three of these things instead of one option. And I'm like, you're a fucking moron. Because you're going to be wrong. And you would have just lost triple the money. You dumb dummy.
Yeah, so options and shorting are very scary things if you don't know what you're doing. I have traded options. I have lost a lot of money because I was a fucking idiot. And don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know things now. But I'd be very curious to have a look at the actual position. Not right here. It doesn't have to be right now. But good on you for trying. Maybe it'll work out.
Yeah, I think I just need to get it out of my system. But here's why I think it's going to go down so much. Okay. Uber's been getting crushed, spending a lot of money, not making a lot of money. Lyft is cutting in on their market share. And the big thing, and I just saw this with Beyond Burger, who I bought, unfortunately.
It's also tanking.
That's what has lost me all my money.
Don't get it.
Because it shot up initially. You missed the boat. Everyone did.
It is Uber's, all the stocks that they had like from their IPO, there's like a lockout period where you can't sell them. The initial investors can't sell those. I think it's November 6th. Those can be sold. And as long as it makes money for the people who hold the stocks, they'll dump it. And that volume can drive the stock even farther down. Right? So I'm betting that they're a poor earnings show plus an unload of $6.5 billion worth of.
How long is your option for?
It's till the 8th. They release results on, I think, the 4th or the 6th.
No, election
so
day.
You're still good. It could happen.
It could happen.
They could tank.
But
maybe you're gonna look really smart on the next podcast.
Probably not. Probably not. Like there is no. It's like okay. So we'll talk later about it. But we started a new server, a 7 Days to Die server.
Hard pivot back to games already.
I think it's about money.
It's just an aside.
Okay.
And I gave it. Basically I brought it up. I got it running, and I gave it to Jake, and I said, "You do like whatever you want to do. Here's the keys to the car." And he's like, "I made all these changes," and I was sort of remarking, and I was like, "You know what? Like, I will love it 100% more because you did it and not me. No matter what I do, I'm going to think it was bad. So no matter which way this option goes, if I lose money, I'll be like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. If I make money, I'm like, oh, you're an idiot for not buying 10 times as much and being super wealthy right now."
Can't win.
Can't win.
I don't think you should think that way. If you win, it's a win.
You're right.
You just got to take that W.
I shouldn't think that way, but God made me this way.
You know what? We all need
my cross to bear. Okay, so that's where I've gotten in real life. So I know that was fun, and you guys can all point left. Oh, don't do anything that I do. Don't go off of any of my advice. Okay,
They're not licensed advisors.
Yeah.
Past results do not equal future returns, et cetera, et cetera.
Chris, what have you been up to? I heard you got a new gerb.
I got a new gerb. Yeah. I did finally leaving the hellhole. My last day is on Wednesday.
You got to be excited. You taking time off in between?
Oh yeah, I took a 4-day weekend. I know some of my boys from Jersey are coming down. We're gonna go to the casino.
Ooh.
Red or black?
Black probably. No, I just want to play. I just want to play blackjack. That's my thing.
You ever play
I just want to play
craps?
blackjack. Huh?
You ever play craps?
Not really. I just go right to blackjack.
I heard this. Do you ever
Craps
win?
My favorite.
Yeah. I actually last time I went to Atlantic City, I lost 50. I started off with 50. I was up, and then I lost another 100 on top of that. And I was like, oh, I don't want to spend any more money. So I took out like one more 50, and then I ended up like plus like 300. Mm-hmm. So I could turn it around pretty good on the tables.
Hey.
Yeah, I can turn it around. But like, I always start off like real shitty, and then I'm like, oh, it's 50 more, like that, and then I ended up just turning that shit around again, and then I ended up being pretty good.
I'm like 300.
Gotta get close to that mic, bro.
I'm
bro.
I lost 300, then I take out 100 more, and then I take out 100 more, and then I take out 100 more,
Yep.
and then I never.
And it's always those drinks, man. That those free drinks they give you. This makes it so much easier to head back to the ATM.
Makes that wallet
dude.
open a lot faster.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's
So
their.
what's the appeal of craps? Is it like in the TV shows where everybody's like, yeah?
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah?
Like when someone's rolling on fire, it's the best time in the casino. Like everyone's cheering, you're high fiving. Like
You're not even part of it. You're just excited for them. Or
No,
like,
I'm part of it.
Wait, you can
Yeah,
bet
don't
if
you,
you're
like,
not
bet
rolling.
against the guy
everyone's
throwing?
high-fiving.
Wait, you can.
Everyone at the table. Like there's
Oh, okay.
like multiple people.
If you're at the table, you don't have to roll to be making money.
You do have to roll eventually.
Okay,
So when it comes to you, you have to roll.
but if somebody else is hot, can you
If
bet on
someone's
them?
hot, you want them to have the die, but
Can you?
can't.
If you're rolling, can I bet money on you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's why everybody's super
That's
stoked.
why
Okay.
everyone's super stoked.
Now that makes
Because
sense.
if someone else is hot, they're making you money.
And then do like women come and like rub your face if you're rolling really well, like in the TV shows?
Back rubs, head massage.
No, specifically your face.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, definitely my face.
Yeah. Do they?
Just the way you said that. If there was video, oh my god. Fucking tool. It's my hand in my face, baby.
I
I don't know
gamble.
what's happening.
I've tried
either.
gambling twice, and both were like slot machine or video poker, and I lost immediately. And I was like, I'm out of here. I don't fucking.
See, I hate the slots. That's the worst odds in the casino. Craps is the best.
Mhm.
I think that. What do you play?
Blackjack.
Blackjack's not good.
No.
I don't know how you went at it.
I don't know. It always ends up working out
Blackjack,
pretty
you
well
have
for
the
me.
most control.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's not much. It's more than
Yeah, but
anything
the
else.
odds are terrible.
Yeah, but if you're playing
I'd
with
only make
like
money on
other good players, you're gonna do all right. Like as long as because it's really a team sport, really. If you think about it,
I am at a
Blackjack's
net
team.
loss at the casino, also obviously, but blackjack.
Everyone is. That's
Exit.
why they're still in business.
That's why I said obviously, but blackjack is the only way I've ever been in the black at all at the casino. Period.
Interesting. Now, which casino do you think you're going to go to?
Probably Valley Forge. Because
Been
it's
there
like 10 minutes from me. Yeah, I went to see TJ Miller there.
Oh,
Deadpool.
yeah.
The bartender in Deadpool.
Yeah.
Comedian.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was really
Voices.
funny. There was this one dickweed in the audience that he like called out pretty good. It was really funny, like because he just kept on saying this one guy kept screaming the same thing, and the joke was dead like a half an hour already at this point. And this one guy kept going to TJ's like, "All right, fuck off," like in like the most TJ Miller way you could do it.
What did you hear about him getting off of Silicon Valley? I heard he was like showing up drunk or something.
Yeah, I mean TJ Miller's kind of a piece of shit. So like that really doesn't surprise me at all. But he's hilarious as a stand-up comedian.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is it like a lot of weed humor? Like would I enjoy it?
No, you would absolutely enjoy it.
Okay.
I saw him recently. I saw Jim Jeffries. He was hilarious.
Oh, I love Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries was great. He was at the Keswick recently, and he was so fucking funny.
What's
oh my
he
god!
talking
And I
about?
think his
He's a fucking cocky douchebag.
he is, but that's why I love him. I think that's what it is.
You don't like me?
No,
Chris likes the bad boys.
no, not at all. Fuck you.
Jim
Yeah,
Jeffries
yeah.
is not cool.
No,
he sucks.
he was pretty funny. His opener was real. He had 3 openers, and the third one was like this gay dude that I forgot what show he was on, but he made a Whitney Houston joke that even made my asshole pucker. It was like, oh, he just almost crossed the line of being offensive even for me, and nothing offends me.
Isn't it awesome how you go
great.
to these comedy shows and the openers are like,
They're amazing.
kill it.
Yeah, that sometimes that ends up being better than the main act. Absolutely.
Honestly, they should be the famous ones. It's like, what is going on here?
Definitely agree with you there, man, for sure. But yeah, oh my god, I think it was something about the daughter of Whitney Houston like killing herself or something, and I was just like, oh shit. But I was like, yeah, give me more of that dark humor, man. But yeah, I saw him recently, so I started going to stand-up comedies.
Yeah?
In my interim here, I never really went to go see stand-up until pretty recently.
Where you been going?
Well, TJ Miller was at Valley Forge and at the Keswick. That's about it so far. Those are the two
Do you know
places
of
I've
any
been.
open mics I could go to and not be known and try my terrible 5 minutes?
I'm sure
I
there's
do.
plenty of places.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know the best place for you to go.
Is it in Philly?
No,
right here.
no. Back home where I'm from in Reading, literally there's an open mic every Thursday. I've been dying to get on stage. We should go together and just fucking do it together.
This is literally the best idea. Yeah.
Okay. We could do it for the first time because I'm really nervous about it. I'm not shy, but I'm super nervous about getting on stage.
I think
yeah.
that's Bill as
And-
well.
Yes, but there's literally 3 losers. It's in the hood, and there's 3 losers in the audience. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
It's just
It's a
Get
very
your feet wet.
specific
it's
audience.
just
So
me, you, and 3 losers.
Who also have to go on stage.
you guys almost you're almost the same
So,
amount of people.
You know, Lindsay. She thinks she's a stand-up comedian, but
Uh-huh.
materials
She goes to the classes and she does
materials not great.
the other. She might hear this, man.
Materials okay.
really
I tell her to her face. I'm friends with her.
I troll her more than
Yeah,
Oh my
her
god.
materials okay.
Really?
She loves it there because you can do whatever, say whatever, try whatever. No one judges you. You're like,
Do they laugh or are they all just like,
no, it's a blast. It's
Okay.
a fucking blast. Everyone's having a good time, but
All 5 of you.
it's
oh, yeah, exactly.
It's the place to try out.
All
all
right.
4
If
to
I
5
had
people.
to go on stage for my first time, that would be ultimately the place. To
Well, I made a commitment to try something out before the end of the year. So-
I also did.
So
I
you-
told Lindsay, I said, she's been bugging me because I write jokes for her and she tells them on stage and they kill. And she's like, you got to do this. I said, all right. Well, I'm just super fucking nervous about it. She's
Yeah.
like, this is the place to do it. Just come. No one gives a fuck there. They'll support you. They'll be cool. We should all go do it. And
Your gimmick should be exactly what you're wearing right now is what you should wear on stage every time.
and
What?
Just like that, the European.
Genevieve, that's not funny.
I like the idea. Like, my whole thing is I'm not European, but I look like I'm European.
I'm from Europe, Obi.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm European over here. Get out of my.
Yo,
I'm
fuck.
mad at anything.
That's
I'm sorry.
Italian.
You have a ganoish.
Sorry.
Forget about it.
But yeah, we should do it.
All right. And
Absolutely.
can you please move that microphone closer to your face?
Can you hear me?
I can hear me.
There, perfect. Thank you.
Now whisper for
Because
the
it's
rest of
good
the show.
stuff, and I can see when I talk, I can see the little lines going, and when you talk, it's like you're in the other room, and we're all chuckling. They're gonna be like, "Who are these fuckheads?" Because everybody who listens to us, all 4 people are super critical.
Yeah.
Including the president.
I don't know if we have.
John Tron's one of our number 1 listeners.
Oh my god.
He actually he recently donated his White House salary to our show.
Oh.
So my buddy dressed up as him last night, and there were multiple people not happy about it.
The whole
can see.
point is that you're dressing up as something spooky.
Yeah. Welcome to Halloween.
I mean, I think if you dress up as him, you're like putting in people's faces, like, this is
Yeah.
what I do.
literally Hitler sorts of-
Nah, they're like,
No, you don't jump as literally Hitler. Jewish heritage wants to.
Mm.
Curb Stomp made an appearance on the podcast today. That's when you put your mouth on the curb,
American history.
and then
I just watched that yesterday.
yo, that is one of the. That's a what, top 10?
Never seen it. What's going on?
What?
Yeah, I don't know either.
no, really?
I don't know
All
either.
right.
Put it on. Wait.
It's
pause
on
the
Netflix. It's
show.
currently-
No. We're not pausing the show. Putting it on.
I'm joking.
We'll watch it in a
but
break.
dude, top 10 movies of all time? Gotta be.
They just put it on Netflix, so you don't have an excuse now.
What is it even?
It's
What's the name of this movie you're talking
American History X.
about? Okay.
What
Stars
is-
Edward Norton
What's it
Edward
about?
and
Norton.
Edward Furlong.
Edward Norton, shaved
the whole
head,
cast is Edward?
Not swastika tit, like Nazi, gangster, fucking wild.
Okay.
It's crazy because that movie it's definitely old at this point, but it rings true today given
Yeah,
the current climate of things right
is
now.
it
It's
top 10?
It's definitely a must watch now.
Yeah, is it a lonely kid and he finds family in
Basically,
the Nazis?
so basically, Edward Furlong is Edward Norton's younger brother. Edward Furlong is a neo-Nazi skinhead. They have, swastikas all over the house. He's got one tattooed on his chest. And one day, a bunch of black guys were robbing their car in the yard, and he pretty much goes out there and murders them. And he goes to prison, and he actually comes back reformed. But now at this point, his brother is the one that's being like the skinhead, and it's like kind of like the story of them coming to the realization and everything that this isn't okay.
Dude, honestly, that was better than any bio we could have pulled up on the movie. That was amazing. That's it. If you guys don't want to watch it now, I don't know what to say for you.
But yeah, it's definitely a great movie, and I definitely highly recommend watching it.
0 out of 10 contains Nazis.
I mean, okay.
Literally unwatchable.
All right. So I keep looking for. I'll have to check it out. Now it's on Nerdflix. I have no reason not to watch it. I've been watching Star Trek Voyager because I was watching Star Trek. I finished Deep Space Nine. Finished. I'll give the finale like a 6.5. Everything worked out okay. Worf isn't king of the universe, so I'm kind of pissed about that. This Voyager, I don't know, man. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. What do you guys think about Voyager? Okay.
Yeah,
it's got its moments.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best. It was like middle of the road.
Okay.
In terms of Star Trek.
If you had to rank all the different series, where would it fall? Okay.
It's a commitment.
I couldn't even pick between TNG, The Next Generation with Jean-Luc, and Deep Space Nine. I couldn't pick because they're both so excellent.
Really
both are great
in two very different ways.
Yeah, they're both.
Right. So, all right. So you're getting a new job. You're excited about that?
Yeah, man.
What are you going to be doing? Can you tell us?
It's kind of like a tech support job. It's for a company called USA Technologies. They do card readers for cashless and attendant-less kiosks and vending machines.
Very cool.
They're number one in the industry, and they're looking to expand that because obviously that's a big direction a lot of things are going in. So I'm pretty excited to be a part of it.
So you're moving in the tech sector.
Yeah, finally.
Good for you, man.
Fucking finally. Getting out of insurance.
Mm-hmm. Because you had to talk to people on the phone.
Yeah.
In real life, and it was hard because their situation was rough.
Yeah. Now at least it's like business to business. Is hey, my device doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. Like I can't tell someone, oh, okay, yeah, sorry, you have cancer, but you still got to pay $50,000 because your insurance is shit.
So will you be going on site at all?
They said it's definitely an option in the future. They're also working on building up their Denver office. So if I work hard, I might try to go for some Denver jobs because fucking Colorado rules, man. And they said they also got one in New Orleans, but gross.
What? You can hang out with Wheezy down there.
Nah, Denver's
You
where
have
it's
beads
at.
on right now.
Yeah, you just can't see them.
Oh no!
I'll put them back behind my Purple Rain T-shirt.
Your fucking tongue motion was unholy.
Yes, that's what's offensive.
That thing that no one saw.
So what? How's your new place? We moved in a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was in May already.
And then you
Wow.
just dropped off the face of the earth.
One of her cats have definitely claimed me as their person.
Okay.
Aw.
Yeah, the one that's a bitch, the one that's like evil to everybody. This cat has been so affectionate to me over like the past like few weeks. Like this is a very recent development. She headbutts me in the morning to wake me up. First off, one time she headbutted me so fucking hard that I thought my roommate woke me up by punching me in the head. And I was just like, oh, fucking it's Lula, you cute motherfucker, you.
Lola or CTE?
But she's cute as shit. And she lays on my belly while I'm trying to sleep, and I can't roll over because she's too cute, and I don't want to disturb her.
I'll tell a cat story.
Tell your cat story.
My cat doesn't use any of her cat skills to jump from
Those are mountains.
From my bed to the floor. She like locks her joints, and it just sounds like you dropped like a weight.
Like there's no attempt to like absorb the resistance.
It's just like thud.
Yes. Particularly we call her Thud.
She's the dumbest. This is the same cat that, like, if you're petting her and then she's like, I've had enough of petting, and you let her walk to the end of the bed, and then you're like,
I don't know. What cat says I've had enough of
This
petting?
cat.
Lots of cats.
and if you go, hey, meow meow, and you like that, she'll go, oh shit, pets, and she'll come back and she'll let you pet her for another 15 minutes.
Like
'Cause
1
she
second.
forgot. She forgot that she needed to go somewhere. She was done with it. She's really not smart. And
I hate cats.
so now what she does is she's like, I need to jump down from the bed. So she'll get in this really ridiculous position. Her back feet are up and her front legs are like on the next level. And she's looking. And then I'll be like, no, just stay up here. But she can't not jump down. Like, I'll pick her up and I'll place her like somewhere else on the bed, and I'll start petting her, and she's like, no, dude, I have to jump down. And then she'll go and she'll look at her water bowl and be like, nah, and immediately jump back up on the bed. It's like sub 8 seconds. So she, boom, nah. Like, I just moved you there. I just moved you to that
I
place.
think it's just she's running a program that has to complete.
Yeah.
I definitely have
Before-
noticed that cats are they are definitely strict on their routines.
Jesus Christ. This little fucker, I'll tell you this one. This little fucker. I had a box in my room with some paper in it. Okay.
Oh no.
No,
She
you
not
won't.
only gets in it, she starts taking a piss, right? And I saw her do it, and I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with the cat?" Because she took this weird stance I'd never seen. She's like sticking her body at like a weird angle, and like if her eyes were like 1,000-yard stare, like
So her
just
normal face.
unblinking, looking forward into space. And I was like,
Genevieve doesn't do that for you?
no. And I was like, yo, quit it, yo. And the cat like
That's actually my box.
unmoved.
So.
I like waved my hands at her. She's like looking into space. She's in piss program. And then
Yeah, she doesn't
then she finishes, and then she goes swipe, and then leaves. And I like it was like she wasn't even there. She wasn't even in her own mind. Like I have never seen anything like it. So then she starts pooping in my room on my clothes.
That would have been the end
Oh,
of
no.
the cat.
And I was like,
as I know
Thank
it.
you.
well, come to find out, somehow a rugby ball blocked her cat box. So now that we moved it, she stopped
Well, yeah,
doing things in my room like that. But
Cats are assholes.
they are.
Yeah, they'll turn on
I don't
you.
like assholes.
Yeah.
So you don't like yourself? All right. Anything else you want to tell us? What are you looking forward to? You just looking forward to your new job?
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Cool.
Boo,
In
assholes.
the immediate, yeah, that's what's up.
Anybody else have life changes they want to talk about?
Life changes?
Mm-hmm. You
Jake
moved.
does. Jake has life changes that he doesn't want to talk about.
That was
You
not
moved
what
in
he
here. How do you like the new pad there, Eric?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Walk everywhere in Westchester. What I have to complain about?
I don't know.
I mean, is it difficult though when you can't even charge your phone? Because then the power shorts out
Oh,
and someone has to go walk downstairs.
I mean that hasn't happened in a while though.
Okay.
Which we've been doing, so I don't know why it happens. The iron is what does it.
Oh,
My iron
okay.
glows,
Rock
it's
tumbler.
all fucking
God
red.
forbid.
Yeah.
Car battery from the torture. You know, it all adds up.
So, since we're on the topic of Eric, I hope this isn't too hard of a pivot. He said that he brought some real live video game discussion content today.
It's about time to actually get to video games.
All right, man. What do you got for us today?
All right, I got it.
Show me what you got.
So I know you guys don't play Fortnite, but Fortnite just released a whole new map. So it's all new. New map, new graphics, a bunch of cool shit,
Whoa.
like wild shit. You can like swim now, you can fish, you can fucking catch guns, and it's wild. It's wild.
What?
Is there a purpose to catching fish? Like,
You
do you
can
actually
like
need
catch
to?
the guns and stuff. So you like cast,
Okay.
but it's all new. So
So now I
totally
can
different.
brutally murder someone while they're fishing like a
Yes.
real hero.
Yes, absolutely. And it's cool because this weekend they are doing double the experience, EXP. So
Oh.
you can level up very quickly this weekend.
This is
I should be playing right now.
This is pretty interesting because, like, in the past, this would warrant a whole new game release, right? But this is a free game, makes its money off of microtransactions and stuff. So they're like, we'll just update what we got, man. And, like, it's always just been the one map. They change within the map. They change, like, some of the little towns or zones or whatever, right?
Yep.
But this is a brand new one.
Brand new map, the whole thing.
Wow.
Apex just did the same thing. They just put out a new map after
For Apex Legends?
Yeah, for the season 3, they put a whole new map in there. I haven't really played it much yet, but they just did.
Have you gotten any hands-on time with it?
Yeah, I played yesterday and today.
What are your thoughts?
Level 7, I should probably be too, but the WXP's treating me good.
Good.
I think that the graphics are way better.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, like, I don't know. I think that if you were good at the game before, there's not a lot of changes. Like, you're still good at the game. You don't have to, like, relearn it.
Right.
But it's just, they made everything better.
So is it still that sort of like cartoony World of Warcraft style art?
You know what? I think they're transitioning more towards like realistic.
Ooh.
That's why the graphics are better. It's still cartoony, but it's way less cartoony than it was. I think they're gonna eventually transition to like real life.
I wonder if that's going to lose the market share, because that was one of the distinguishing factors that we recognized.
It still has it. It still has it.
Right,
It's
because
just not as much.
Because like if you're playing PUBG,
Yeah.
that's basically a war simulator. Like it runs on the Arma 3 engine. And if I was like, if I was a parent sensitive to my child seeing some levels of violence, I might be like, oh, that's a little too on the nose. But this cartoon shit, I'd be like, maybe not. Who gives a fuck? But as they transition towards more realism, if that's what they do, I wonder if it's going to upset sensibilities, or if this game has been out long enough that it's like turning up the heat slowly on a frog in a pot. You know what I mean?
Think that's it. So I think that it is not. It still has the cartoon feel to it, but the graphics just seem so much better.
I mean, I remember back in the day, like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Like
That's a perfect comparison.
San
honestly.
Andreas.
It looks
People were
just
like,
that.
oh, this fucking game. Oh, like you can murder prostitutes after sexual relations, and then like
You should murder them before sexual relations.
They found out that there was like a sex gameplay in it that you could like everybody's clothed, but you can like push X to bang your girlfriend or something. I don't know. And they're like, they unlocked it. And people were real upset. And now, like, GTA 5 comes out, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's just another one. Like, duh.
Who cares?
So I guess I would imagine that might be where we're getting. But you still think the game's carried by the building system?
100%. I suck at building. If you're going to be good at the game, you have to be able to build. And so I just run around like a maniac and get lucky every once in a while.
Playing
Like real life.
I can shoot like in real life. Like real life. I get lucky way more than once in a while in real life. I victory royale maybe twice a day. But you choking?
No, I'm good.
Oh no. But anyway, lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Building's definitely a part that you need to be good at.
Yeah.
Building. There we go. Build. You have to be able to build. 100%. If the best players in the game are the best builders. I'm the worst builder. I just run around like a maniac and have fun.
Do you?
That's all I
do you
wanna
just do one like free for all? Or do you ever pair up?
I do both. So a couple of my buddies are pretty serious about it. They're like legit. And so I'll link up with them and play, and I hold them back. It's sad, but I mean, I just do I do everything. I do every mode. Like, what's it called? Like Royal Rumble, where you can just respawn and just run around like a maniac. And
Wait,
kill
how do
people.
you win that?
what? I never heard about this one.
Yeah, you can respawn.
It's like a death match.
Yeah, and
But-
it's like 50 on 50, I think. People are gonna hate me if I'm
Oh,
wrong.
cool.
But I think it's 50 on 50, and you play to 100 kills
Mm-hmm.
for each team. And
Oh.
so you just respawn, you drop in, murder people. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
As long as you murder the most people before the other team.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
to get to 100 kills before the other team. But I think that the other modes are so fucking stressful.
What are
Like,
the other
I'm
modes?
You die once and you're done. That's it.
Right.
You're carrying med kits around. I'm like, one bullet comes my way and I have a panic attack.
Wait, so what's the point of the
Yeah.
med kit then?
I don't know. I don't know why people do that.
I just keep collecting them.
Yeah. It's intense. It's intense.
Are there any other modes? Because I thought that was the only one, actually.
Yeah,
There's
no,
like an
there's-
actual story mode, right?
There's single, duos. I think you play with 3 people, and then Royal Rumble. Every mode is basically, if you die once, you're out. But the Team Rumble.
There's a creative mode, I think.
Creative mode. No, I didn't ever played any of those.
Yeah.
There's a creative mode. There's all types of wild shit.
I was reading that they did updates into creative mode.
He probably knows more about the game than me, and I play it, and he doesn't.
People
You're probably right.
No, he does.
they made some update and the community was really excited. They're like, now I just want NPCs with changeable skins that you can give a set path to. I'm like, this motherfucker wants to make an RPG in Fortnite.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a whole community.
Dude, it's wild.
I
There's so
don't
many
know
people
about.
playing Fortnite, and the thing that pisses me off is these kids play 12, 14, 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
I have 2 hours a week
Mhm.
to commit to that. I can't
You can't compete.
I can't compete.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, you could beat him in an arm wrestling contest.
These Utes.
These Utes.
All right. So are you switching back to Fortnite? Are you still looking at what the fuck are you playing? League of Legends? No.
No.
Dota 2?
Dota
Dota.
2.
I mean,
Oh, you play Dota?
Dota's it. I just love it. Although I tried to play it this morning and I couldn't fucking ready up. No one's on there or what? What's going on?
Maybe you just got
Sunday
shadow
morning?
banned.
It was 8 minutes and no one joined the game. I couldn't.
I don't think I've ever waited that long to start a Dota game ever.
You play Dota?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Let's talk.
Yeah, have some Dota talk. What do you main?
I'm usually Viper. I like him a lot.
Describe Viper.
He's a dragon.
Okay.
A poisonous.
What kind of... Okay.
He can drop poison on a whole bunch of enemies.
He's a cheap hero.
He is. He is.
Gauntlet been thrown.
Some Dota shit talk.
That's a left click hero right there.
He really is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is. No,
He
but
is. I'm not gonna
he's
deny
dirty.
it.
He's dirty
yeah.
if you know how to play him.
If you know how to play him, and especially late game, it's night. Early game, you can definitely fuck him up. Especially if you do it wrong.
You
but
can fuck people up early
yeah.
game, and I mean he's definitely. I hate Viper so much.
my other one is Medusa. She's fun sometimes. I like her.
I don't play.
You like
I like
snacks?
I like distance characters. I don't like getting
You
close.
like snacks.
So I'm a gangster with Crystal Maiden.
Okay.
I destroy with her.
Nice.
Pudge.
Okay.
What is Pudge?
Pudge is a big fat boy with a hook.
Yeah.
He hooks you over to him.
See, I fucking hate because with that is you can be hiding in the trees and shit. And you can just fucking hook people in. You don't even know they're there. And
Yeah,
you're
that's
and,
what I-
and then it slows you down, and then you can't escape, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off so goddamn much.
That's why I love
I
Pudge.
fucking hate it so much.
That was the first character I saw you play.
Yeah, I was pretty legit.
Yeah, and that was your first time playing in years or whatever. So
Yeah, I didn't play
you did
for
good.
2 years, and Jake let me in the captain chair the other day, and I was like,
Ooh.
let me play some Pudge, and I was hooking people and having a good time.
Nice.
You had a couple really good blind hooks too, where you
Yeah.
didn't even know where they were.
You don't know? Yeah, I'm
a bitch.
I'm
It's a bitch.
I'm dope at that. But what other characters you play?
I don't play it often enough to play much more than the two I'm familiar with.
Yeah, see, I have way too many.
So I have too many games that I'm in the progress of playing right now.
That's the
way
thing
too
with
many
me. I
games.
play one game.
See, I
Dota
can't.
2. That's it. That's all I play.
I'm very fickle. I have a hard time committing,
yeah.
and so I'm still single, ladies.
No one's gonna help you.
No,
It's all right.
that's why we have Tinder.
I'll help
It's
you.
okay. You're all right. It's fine.
So I just right swipe. It's cool. I don't want to know your name. I just want bang bang bang.
Is that your
That's the
Tinder
reference.
profile?
That's my theme song.
Is that your bio?
Can that please make that your bio?
I mean, I
can do that right
Please.
No, that's why he's single. That's why he's single.
That's his pickup line.
That's
Yeah.
why he's single.
No, that has to be
Hey.
your. Come on.
It would work.
Never repeat that again.
It would work.
It will not work.
I put all kinds of fucked up shit in my thing, and it works
absolutely
all the
works.
time.
It's a song.
I know
And-
it's a song.
And the people in the know would think that's hilarious. And honestly, like all the girls I end up matching with on Tinder don't much like me. I don't want them past that one night anyway.
Oh,
So whatever.
now we're talking.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a
So
win
how
for
many times-
everyone in this situation.
So Eric, how many times have you fucked Pudge?
How many of what?
Wait, we were talking about Dota. Now we're talking about fucking. So
I thought we were talking about Pudge.
yes.
We're gonna fuck
And
Pudge.
fucking. I mean, he's a smoke show. I looked him up. You can't.
Did you just look him up for
I
real?
did just look
big.
him up. He's
a-
quite the hottie.
he's a
Like,
dime.
Total babe.
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
I
like
love
here,
it.
pass it around.
Which picture is this?
He's this
The
is
fat
Pudge.
kid from Dota too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's got a hook.
Oh baby.
Put your stunning shades on.
That's my
I
favorite
feel like-
boy right there.
There we go.
Mm. You can hook me,
Right?
baby.
Sexy teeth.
So do you play?
yeah,
so do you play mid, bottom? Where do you go with him?
I'm all over. I'll play
All over?
whatever.
Whatever.
So if you want me to go mid, I'll pick it here for mid. I'll play
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dota.
The different
What
lanes?
Yeah, what lane you're
Yeah.
going in?
I
Yeah.
can forest.
What's the difference? What's the difference between the lanes?
So it's a big difference. So typically, top, you're gonna have a support with you.
Yeah.
And you're a carry. So if you're carrying the team, you have support with you, someone that you can just farm.
So
creeps.
wait, like a tank and a healer, or what?
Yeah.
You can.
It could be
Yeah.
either.
It could be.
either.
Yeah. You have options.
Okay.
Middle, you're solo. You're on your own. You better fuck shit up because if you don't, your team's gonna hate you because they're counting on you to carry them. I usually go mid with Pudge. That's
Yeah.
the way to do it.
Yeah. Viper for me has been the best on mid. I don't really
Yeah.
bring him anywhere else.
Sucks. With,
I tried to bring him in the bottom one time, and it was like the worst. I got
Yeah.
just fucked.
yeah,
So
I
what's
did too.
what's going on at the bottom?
I mean,
Besides me every night.
Nice.
Ooh.
Got him.
What?
I'm rubbing my
my.
face for those who can't see.
No, Genevieve's
I'm
fucking
holding my
cracking.
head.
All
What
right.
did Genevieve do?
I laughed.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
That's
Really.
all.
Just having a
yeah.
giggle.
So what is bottom?
So, I mean, which one?
Now,
are you
now we're
talking
gonna
about?
delve
I
into
mean, I'm an expert, but you play the games.
the deep
Okay.
question of the day. What is bottom?
I think that's when you like to get it in.
Search your feelings.
Oh, wait,
sorry.
yeah.
Search your feelings.
No, so bottom in Dota is just bottom lane.
Okay.
Well, what's
So
the
what
difference
you
You're
about
going like the bottom corner. So basically, okay. So it's this obvious
no,
square.
we were wrong earlier. Bottom's
Bottom is
where
where
you get the.
That's what I
support.
thought.
Yes.
Top, you can solo top, or you can have someone with you as well.
Usually works out that way anyway.
And
So
then, yeah.
What about the different lanes makes it that way? Like how are there different enemies or obstacles?
It's just the danger that you're in. So
Are they like
if
they're
you're
different enemies or
top,
whatever?
if you're top, you're further away from your tower. If you're bottom, you're closer to your tower.
Oh.
So you have a support and you're close to the tower, so you can farm creeps easier. If you're top, you need more of like a beefier, sturdier hero. You get fucked up because you're far from your tower. You can't just run home.
yeah.
So, and then mid, obviously, it's 1v1, so you're by yourself. And you need to be on top of your shit. And there's some good motherfucker
Yeah.
players in Dota. And if you don't know what you're doing, you'll get destroyed.
Yeah, they'll wreck you.
You get wrecked. And then your teammates get pissed off because you took mid and they could have had mid. You know how it goes.
Ah,
You
no
get
wonder everybody
flamed.
got so mad at me at League of Legends.
Yeah. dude,
Yeah, same
that
same
game,
story.
If you aren't good, you will get fucking roasted.
Dude, I was playing with people I knew. Well,
Your first mistake.
I was playing with my mom, brother, and sister.
I was playing with people I knew like through a friend, but like
Your first mistake.
we
A
had
friend
met
of a
in
friend.
real life, and then I was trying a new character in unranked beginner mode.
Yeah,
and
you
they
should
were
get off your back.
fucking heated. I'm
Dude,
like,
it's crazy.
It's they're so toxic.
It's
so toxic.
Game. It's a toxic game.
But it's definitely now, like, if you're putting a comparison to the two, and I have friends in both camps, so I get the opportunity to play them both. League is definitely the easier to play of the two.
Really?
I think so, 100%.
I've always wanted to try League.
It's
What
a
makes it
lot
easier?
easier. Ah, God, I don't know. You have less to worry about. There's less items. I feel like it's just easier to pick up. But like
tell
games take forever to start. Like you're looking at 20 minutes sometimes before a game will get
wow.
going, and then like
That
it takes forever for it to load. Like those are my big criticisms and why I would usually pick Dota over League.
I thought it
It's
was
like-
League over Dota.
No, League is just easier.
Okay.
It's just the easier to play of the two.
Okay.
But I would pick Dota over League.
Okay.
so the idea is that, let me see if I can summarize it from my peripheral understanding. In Doters, you have a team of like 4 or 5 people, and you pick a champion, and they've got different characteristics. So some have really high health, and that'll make them a tank. Some of them have healing abilities, healers. Some of them are very powerful attack, but they're fragile to being attacked. So
got
they're
it.
glass cannons, typically a support
Got
one.
it. It's 5v5.
And there's 3 different lanes that you can go down, varying distances from your home base. Now, you can go back to home base and heal.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also healing spots on the map.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the idea is, along with the champions, at set intervals, little creeps or like fungible enemies are produced.
Fungible.
And as you kill them, your character ranks up within the game and you get more powerful.
Bingo.
Okay.
Well, you get coins for taking out the creep. So like
Yeah,
if you're the
you
one
get
that deals the killing blow to the creep, you're gonna get coins.
Hmm.
And that's ultimately what makes you good at the game.
Yeah.
If you can kill the creep on the last hit, that's basically it. If you master that, you're going to be good at the game because you can buy items.
Yeah, you can
and
upgrade
items is what makes you good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times, and then like eventually, like when you're really like comfortable and you're really good at it, you eventually start to know when you should start like, because like sometimes I have to kill my own creeps so I can get the coins. So like you got to take out your own creeps to make sure that. So that you can get the coins.
Wait, you can kill your own creeps?
Oh yeah, I've definitely taken out my own creeps so that they
Why?
stop taking the last hits
It's
from
called
me.
a deny.
Deny, yeah.
It's called a
Thank
deny. You actually have to change your settings in the
Yeah.
game to be able to just right click deny, because if you don't do that, then you have to like use the keyboard. And that's not cool. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to deny your creeps. That's a huge advantage.
All right, so how about this? I'll play Dota with you.
I would love you to
Yeah, I'll play a game.
You can
It's
teach me.
Doters,
But if
okay.
if you're a big bully,
No,
I will seek revenge in some
I
way.
won't be half the bully you are in real life.
Ooh, spicy.
Wait, I need. Hold on, Jake.
Jake's an owl
pause
now.
Pause it.
Okay, we're paused.
Okay. What's the? Do you really think I'm a bully, bro?
No, I do
Why would
not.
you say that?
I
I mean,
love
I take
you,
it really
man.
personally. You know.
No, come
You're
on.
not like-
you wanted to roast me earlier.
He's
I'm
about
gonna give
to
it back.
cry.
I'm gonna give it
No,
back.
I got bullied as a kid, and just to hear somebody accuse me.
I did too, Billy. That's why we're
Oh my god, are we all crying now?
Jake would say I'm
Bully
trolling
together.
you.
You're a Russian troll.
Yes,
He's meddling in our elections.
a Russian troll.
Nah, but dude, honestly,
He
if
is
you play
European.
that game, I'll try and help you as much as I can. It's what 2-3 month commitment to even learn it.
Yeah, probably.
Well-
to get it. Yeah, I would probably say
It's-
that.
I am
not
pretty
easy.
stupid because I did buy those stock options.
Proof.
All right, so let's kick it to a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about, we set up our own server. We're supreme masters of a server. I want to touch a little bit on a new game that I've been playing called Banner Saga. And then that'll probably wrap out our second section, and we'll do the Steam sale. So we'll catch yous on the flip side. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right. So, I know I finally made it, I guess. Because I finally have a server. We have a server. It turned...
Name is Jamie, and she'll get you whatever you need, okay? Enjoy your stay. Enjoy your stay. Bertucci's.
So,
Bertucci's.
we got ourselves a 7 Days to Die server.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know I think I'd always thrown it around like, since I was playing Counter-Strike, I understood servers and how do you get it? Fast forward 10 years, I keep talking about getting one for that pirate game I play, Black Wake, and I don't because I fall off of that game because I'm playing the shit out of Zombie Minecraft. And I've heard about people running them in their homes, and I looked at buying myself a machine, but eventually it was like, it's like everything else that I say I'm going to do as I'm an adult. It's like, okay, I'm either going to do this or it's not going to happen. So I got into a mood because you had mentioned, you're like, I've been looking into servers, remote servers for us to use. I've been thinking about it. I was like, that's the impetus I need. I'm going to make it fucking happen.
Yeah, I was like, I Googled it once.
Yeah.
And I think it's a cool idea. I just haven't taken the time. And you were like, I have the time. I'll put that
Time, I
buddy.
have it.
I have the special
so
set of skills.
I'll make the time.
Yeah. I remember when I was playing last time with you, the 7 Days to Die, there was like such a level disparity between us that I felt pretty useless. I felt like the comic relief, and like I had fun playing, but I still felt like a sort of a baby being doted on because there was like a 200 level difference.
Yeah, I mean, at least like I was inviting you into my game, and I was playing, and on top of that, I don't even think the disparity was that big before, because since it wasn't it wasn't like a remote server, it was just my game on my machine you were hopping into. I had you just had such a significantly less amount of time. So even though because the XP was turned up so much, I hit max level, and you were still like in the 50s or something.
Yeah. So I mean, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I wanted to play again, but I was like, I don't really like this feeling. How can we change it? Well, you mentioned a server, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger. So I go and I look. And I start doing the Googles, to answer every question that I've ever had, you got to Google it. And I almost got this one company because it was so cheap. It was like 80 cents a thing. And then I was like, what version do they run on this website? Because we had just updated to Alpha 18 and it only said anything about 17 on their site. And I was like, I don't want to fucking pay for this. Pay $20 or whatever and then have to cancel it. And then I read that they suck, their customer support's terrible, blah, blah. So I start Googling reviews on the site and I'm like, oh shit, why didn't I look at reviews of all the sites I was considering before? I'm just walking into like a brand new setting, companies I don't know. Some of them are like one's like clearly German and I can't read it, but they have the numbers look like good prices, 75 euro cents or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just send it. We'll just fucking send it. I'll put my credit card in. I got a good company. If they fucking steal it, I'll tell them it's theft and whatever. So I start reading these things and turns out there's an official list of 7 Days to Die server partners. There's like 8 of them that they list. And I go through all of them and they're like, they allow you different levels of customization. And one was really weird. I went into one and then I went into it again through a different tab and the prices were like $3 different. This is like 20% of the thing. But I didn't have the customizability. The one's like, do you want this operating system? Do you want this amount of memory? Do you want... I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I don't want that. So eventually I get 30% off. I think it's just for the first month. But I end up paying like $11 for us to have our own 8-person server. And it launched instantly. And that's part of the reason I got it. Because I was like, I don't want to fucking wait around. I want to play right now. Let's go. And it spins up. And then I get into it. I log in. First off, this company sends me my passwords and all my usernames related to my account in emails in plain text. Like just straight up read it. They're like, here it is, copy paste. Oh, great. So I guess I should change it. I'm like, this is pretty sketch. And then we get playing, we're messing around, and we're in the server, and I realized I don't have a fucking clue how to deal with this server. Like, they're like, I'm looking at config files. I'm like, oh, I'll just mess around with this. But this is a virtual machine on somebody's computer, 500 miles away. I think it's in Georgia or something. And I'm like, there's something to be directly on the machine so you can poke it and twist it and connect things. And you're like, oh, I think this is what broken. If I break that one, I'm like up shit creek. So we get on and we start playing our first game. And Jake, you get on. Chris gets on. We're having a blast. We start a new random world, messing all sorts of things. So I go to bed. I wake up the next day. I'm like, fuck, I want to play. Because I see you playing 7 Days to Die. I'm like, oh, is the server up? I'll jump in. And I get in, and it won't connect. And I connect. Can't fucking do it. So I look at the diagnoses, and then I'm like, I don't even know what any of this means. I open the logs. Surely the logs will tell me something. They tell me nothing. I read logs for other computer systems, and they
I read logs in my troubleshooting for this. Let's skip ahead, and I found what I needed immediately, namely starts and stops and crashes.
I must have not been looking at the right logs.
Maybe.
But
the reason why it wasn't working is because I took it down overnight.
So so I contact this customer support. I send them the thing to get an email, and then I message the guy. And he's like talking to me, and his name's Dylan. And I'm like, hey, dude, like I had this working yesterday. It's not working now. I went to bed. I woke up, and it's not working. And he goes, well, servers don't just break, so you must have done something. And I was like, okay. I didn't want to be like, well, I wasn't on it the whole time, and I shared my password because, we have to have operation security for this company that sends me my passwords in plain text. But I was like, I didn't want to let on that I gave somebody else my credentials, i.e. Jake. Not that they would have done anything. But we keep talking, and I'm like, can I back this up? And he's like, yeah. And sometimes he takes 10 minutes to respond to me, so I download everything. He's like, okay, like you backed it up. Gives me no instructions, right? He didn't tell me, like, in order to get the backup, you have to run the backup process, and then you have to turn it into a zip, and then it opens in the folder that you zipped up, and then you pull that down, and that doesn't save your configuration files. I had to like pull his teeth to get it out. And he keeps coming back to this, you must have done something. And at one point I'm like, okay, so this done something that I must have done, what's an example so that I can learn from you what not to do? And he sends me a message. He goes, well, servers don't just go down, so somebody must have done something, like this guy's on repeat, like mess with some config files or added a mod, or it could be a one-off rare instance problem with the game. And I was like, okay, thank you for the example so I could actually learn something. And I sat there and I was starting to get a little worked up, and I was like, you know what, maybe Dylan's not American. Maybe his people have different ways of conversing, and this isn't rude wherever he's from. So I pumped my brakes. But then I thought, maybe Dylan's an American fucking dork who thinks I'm a big dumb idiot, and he doesn't know I run a super successful video game podcast, and I'm also simultaneously very angry. So thankfully I left. I tapped you in, and you held me to your bosom, and you comforted me, and everything worked out.
What shocks me about that story is that I feel like he didn't even like take a look at our server.
He's just like, oh, I can't look at anything.
But what good are you? For one thing. For another, if he could, he'd be able to, even if it wasn't logging into the account, if he could just see the status of the server, he would see that it is off. It is stopped. And all it takes is to go, the only problem, again, was that I shut it off. And you or I could go in and turn it back on with exactly one click.
So here's the issue that was going on with that. I went in, it said it was on. I restarted it. I stopped it. I started. I did all this stuff.
Understand it's not instantaneous, by the way.
Yeah. I spent like an hour and a half doing this before I contacted him. And I kept checking the status, and it's just like, no, bro, you can't do it. So I don't know what, and this this customer service guy, this like help guy, was just like, well, I can't do anything with your server, but I can see that it's running. So you must have done something to break it. All I can do is reinstall your game. And I was like, okay, well, will my backup be there? He's like, oh no, you got to pull your backup. This is where we started this whole thing where like I had to ask him the right questions to actually get assisted. So then he reinstalled it. You got on it. You made it really nice. But it was just, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I was having some issues, fast forward to me actually doing stuff. I was having issues getting the configurations for the server to stick. And for you listening, these are sort of basic things you can already alter in the vanilla game if you're just starting one up on your own computer. Things like the frequency of random loot, the amount of XP earned for everything you do, the size of the map, the whether or not it's a preset map or a randomly generated one, how many players, how long do their, you can configure all these little specific details. Like if right now in our game, I'm the only one with a land claim block down, I think. Normally, if I were to then log out my claim would decay over time. And if I didn't show up soon enough, I would lose my claim and someone else could take it. Right. And this makes sense, especially in a public server. So I learned to switch all that shit, not off, but just give them more generous time frames. I think I have it set to 2 weeks. Or you don't log in, you lose your claim. Your claim block will just decay. And if you come back on and no one took your shit, you can just replace it. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, so I'm making all these changes, and like initially I was trying to do it while the server was still up, and I quickly learned, I'm actually modifying a config file. I have to close the server to make these sorts of changes. Fine. Shut down the server, make my changes, boot it back up. What happens? Either none of them stick, or some of them stick of these settings. And like, okay, your XP's turned up, your loot's turned up, but when you die, you drop everything instead of just your tool belt. I'm like, I don't, what? That's not what I did. Oh, and it's the vanilla start map, Navezgane, Arizona, even though I had it set to random gen. Like, huh? By the way, I still haven't figured out how to set it to random gen. What we're playing on is another pre-generated map that we've just never seen before, and that's good enough. Yeah. But the random gen was kind of cool. It was, shit got weird. It was, but
there was a junkyard, and then a corn farm, and then another junkyard, all in a downtown city center. So,
not within, I believe, the same downtown city center, there was a military base covered in landmines.
Yeah. I died walking through town.
A military camp, I should specify.
With tents and shit.
With tents.
Jeez. So, I was walking down the road, and I see this hubcap, and my brain goes, oh no, that's a landmine. And it doesn't go off as soon as I step on it. So instead of like trying to sprint away, I'm like, I'll jump. This'll save me. Spoiler, did not.
Nope.
Super dead. Super explode.
Fuck blammo.
Yep.
So I don't even know what I did, man. I mean, there was also some goofiness around the admin roles. We kept losing our admin rights. You know what it was? I'm an idiot and I don't know how to code things, and I didn't realize that the lines for each person's thing were commented out. You had to undo that comment and make them actually be live lines of code because I'm not a coder. I figured it out. There's even a message in the file about that, but it was done in such a way, and now I realize that they added spaces so that it wouldn't actually affect any changes.
Right.
But it was like, this is an example. This is, if it's surrounded by these things, it's commented out. You dipshit. And I was like, I am a dipshit. I really am. And so,
like,
you're right, computer.
If you didn't fucking write software, I feel like it's so not instinctual to be like, yeah, we're supposed to put comments all over the place. We do these little things, and like, then the code doesn't run it. Like,
they're not live lines of code. They're instructions for future people looking at the code.
Yeah.
And so therefore you have to tell the text file that this is not live code. I had to deduce this.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I was not told. I was not instructed in any way. So some manual learning, but now, Bill, you and I still have admin rights. And things like developer mode are turned on for admins. So if we need to change something and don't want to play legitimately, I do it a lot.
Every once in a while, I see a gray blur sprinting at 50 miles an hour down the wasteland.
Yeah, I might be zipping around here and there.
My favorite part about it is that you don't do it in like a game-breaking way. You're just like, I'm going to save 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to save 10 minutes of hoofing it back to base with 48 too many things in my inventory, so
Yeah.
I'm walking real slow.
Oh, my God.
And like running out of stamina every half a second. I'm like, no, God mode. See you later. But in my defense, when shit starts hitting the fan, I'm not cheating that way. I just did the first Fortnight by myself because that's just how the time played out. Thankfully, time does not persist when there was no one logged in, which is nice.
Ooh, that is very nice.
Yes. So I logged in and I picked up right where I left, where I was last one to log out last night, right there at about noon on day 7. So I quickly scrambled to throw some spikes on the ground and do a little bit of stuff, and I still died once because I fucked up, but I otherwise would not have. And I didn't have to cheat to do it.
But I found out that it was inexpensive. It was like $13 a month, and for Game of Thrones, I enrolled in HBO Go. And then I watched Barry seasons 1 and 2, and I was like, I won't quite get rid of this because I want to watch Barry season 3. And now HBO's on the chopping block because I'm getting way more value out of this fucking thing. And it was relatively easy. But you know what? To sum up this fucking guy, this Dylan, this so-called Dylan. Okay, part of the reason that you had a hard time understanding the comments thing is because everything about that website, it's written in English. And it's pretty good English, but it's either somebody who missed some grammar school, or, maybe it's English as a second language. Because you're like, it takes a little while to parse exactly.
If I know anything about computer nerds, it's that English is not necessarily their strong suit, even if they are native speakers. Which
is why it's still up in the air.
This is still true of normal ass people. People are not good at the language. I am better than most, and there are still embarrassing moments. It's a stupid language, for one thing, but also, people are not sitting here. It's like learning. Sometimes it can be like learning where all the table setting stuff goes, and when you have 6 knives and 88 forks and 7 cups, and you have to, play. You use this thing for exactly this thing, and that for exactly that thing, and this is facing this way and that way, and you have to shape this one into, a skull
into a
and this one
swan.
into a crucifix, and you have to perform a blood ritual with your salad fork. And it can get like that, right, with grammar Nazism, but that's too far. But with me, I'm like, the commas are good,
it was just hard to
periods
read.
Are good.
That's all I'm saying. He was either he was failed by a system in America, or maybe he just had a hard time somewhere else. I don't know. That's why I haven't declared this guy a b-hole. But I will say this, Dylan. Sometimes virtual machines do just break, okay? That's the whole point, because you get an original build that works. And instead of in the old days having to troubleshoot one machine running very important information on actual dedicated hardware, now you just go, fuck it. Put out the one that we know is good and make it like what we wanted before. And then it works. Troubleshooting, people will complain now, is almost a lost art because you just destroy the virtual instance and deploy a new one. So, Dylan, the entire premise of the usefulness of a goddamn virtual machine undermines your assertion that virtual machines don't just break, brother.
Thanks, Macho Man.
Yeah, brother.
So, Bill, what do you think about that?
And I also want to point out that solar flares exist. So maybe a solar flare hit one of my bits and messed it up. Maybe it wasn't me. So, Dylan, get off your high horse. That's all I have to say about that.
You didn't see Bill's face, but it was very.
It was good. It was
a
priceless.
shitty cunt face for sure. That sound matches the
that
expression.
sound. I wish I hadn't been looking at your face when you made it, but I'm pretty sure that sound elicits that.
Yeah,
face.
you'd be like, if you were Paz, you'd be like, "Oi, you're a shit cunt."
He's Australian now.
Yeah, he's somewhere in between.
So, I have to say, in the 2 days that we've had our own server, I have fucking loved it.
It's really good,
dude.
It's awesome.
Carl, friend of the show, is on.
Yeah, it's
Carl, friend of the podcast.
It's so much easier to get someone to jump in and play when you're like, we have our own server, just get in.
Yeah,
right.
Doesn't matter who's on.
instead of like
password.
connect to my machine and you can play this build if you're on, like you can get
But
people.
then if I have
invested.
to go, everyone gets kicked.
Exactly. And I will tell you, the game's running smoother for me.
Because you're not connecting through my lattice of Chechen VPN.
Right. And it persists. So like it has been a fucking blast. And it's funny because since I'm a psychopath, there are some social difficulties that I'm having, right? So when it was on your machine and I logged in, it was clearly your base. And you gave me a little apartment and I really appreciate it, and I stayed to my space. And now I'm like feeling out how we want to do this community thing, because I'm like, oh, I kind of want to build a wall, but there are already box frames there, and I'm like, do I just start building them? Is it going to get anybody upset? I'm like, okay, does Chris need me to like watch his back, or does he like to go off on his own? Does Carl need some handhold? It's like, and it got to a point last night where we'd been playing for like 4 hours and we weren't talking to each other anymore. I switched off my mic so that I could watch Star Trek. And we hadn't talked in like 50 minutes.
We were just doing our thing.
We were just doing it. It was just so efficient.
Yeah, and I'm like,
which is normal if you're gonna like be in a like whatever. I live with Eric and Matt, and I don't talk to them 24/7.
Yeah. And I had like one of those moments like, I'm not even talking to my friends. And then I realized like, no, this is okay. We don't have to.
We're accomplishing a task.
Yeah.
You are playing the game by yourself in service to the greater good.
Yeah. We don't have to be up each other's butts.
And we can just chime in whenever the fuck we feel like it. There's no pressure any which way.
Yeah. So it was, it's been really nice. It's been really, really nice. And it's cool to like, it is such more of a drive for me because I'll see like Jake will be on. I used to not jump onto your server because I wanted to finish what I was building so I could show it to you, because I was like, I so don't, and this you haven't fostered this at all. This is me being crazy and competitive in like a non-competitive game. I'm like, oh, I want to show him that I have worthwhile skills because in his game I don't help.
You're trying to impress Jake?
Yeah, because he's fucking good at it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, now I don't even worry about it because I'm like, oh shit, well if he's on, I can get on, and we can all build towards the same thing, and I can do my own thing, and it's just been great. So we have 4 people on, we can get up to 8, but I'm so stoked. I don't know how it's gonna go, but like this is really a different sort of game. This is, I shit you not, my dad, when I first moved home, he's like, son, I'll do whatever you want to do to hang out, but not video games. I think I embarrassed him once upon a time or something. No, I'm just kidding. He did really well when we played video games one time, but it's not his bag. I could see him actually enjoying this game. Like if I say, I'm like, Dad, just play computer zombie Legos, okay? Just do it. I know, just do it. Because like, Chris, you're like, this isn't used. Neither of these two genres are really my deal, but I'm having a great time.
I'm having a fucking blast.
Yeah. What about it do you think is so engaging?
I don't know. I just feel like it's very user friendly. I feel like it was just it just was just easy to pick up for me. Like I played The Forest, which is a similar game. It's a like zombie quote unquote survival horror game.
Survival.
Yeah, they're cannibals, but it's along the same vein. It's the same genre of game, and I just couldn't. Like, I don't know what it was, like, but it's a much more polished and better looking game, but this game plays much better. I just feel like everything is just a little bit more interesting. I feel like there's more customization on what we're able to build, and plus like our teamwork factor is just the party aspect of it is great.
It's such a huge thing because when I first got in, I was like, I'm going to get bored of zombies in Minecraft. And then I had fun with building it, but getting materials and building stuff is a little more intensive than suits my fancy for.
And that's why you teamed up with the alpha autist.
Yeah.
Minor extraordinaire. Me.
But it was like, so I'm like, oh shit, I better get more kills and stuff. And then, but then I jumped into your game with you, and we're like 2-man clearing buildings and shit. And I was like,
everything from just like little decrepit houses to like gigantic factories and hospitals.
And it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
Because you're like, everything else, it looks like semi-defined. It's not Minecraft low-level graphic design, but it's not,
It shoots for more realism, but without like a AAA looking budget.
Yeah. And but the guns they put a lot of effort in that, and the gunplay is fun. And so like, it's like a completely different game. And I've been hooked, and I'm like, I can't wait. Genevieve, we're gonna pull you into this mess.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pull
Get
you in.
sucked in.
Yeah, and I have to buy my own machine because I've been playing on yours.
Right.
But my buddy Sean, now that we have a permanent server, I think we can get him in, and I just can't. The kids have done that. It's like hearing those stories about people playing Halo 2 growing up, and they're just like, we had such a great group. I've heard about Minecraft servers, but now at 28, like I'm almost fucking 30. Me and my friends finally play video game together. We finally have our own server.
I haven't played a multiplayer game in years.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled that you're playing with us, Jake, because getting you to play a multiplayer game has been hell for years.
You don't
do
like
it.
Yeah, especially competitive.
I don't blame you.
It's just not me.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
This is really collaborative.
Yeah,
and you're like, I made it PV.
I made a PV. Like you were gonna say, like initially, in yesterday or the day before when we were first trying to get it working, one of the settings that wouldn't stick was whether it was PvE or kill everyone or kill strangers only or whatever. Yeah. And I did get it to work where it was kill everyone. Let's see how this goes. Spoilers: disaster. Disaster. It is really easy to hit each other and not the zombies. Hitboxing can be a little weird.
Yeah, and Chris after dark is a little reckless.
Yeah, Chris is kind of. I am kind of reckless after dark.
He's like, hey, I'm just gonna smash this storage container. I'm like, Chris, you took away half my health. He's like, nah, bro, I'm hitting the storage container. I'm like, okay, well, I got grape jelly on my screen. Somebody did it.
He's got that blue blood.
Well, don't stand in front of me when I'm swinging a hammer.
That was my attic. I was in my own attic.
You were killed in your own house?
I was just injured. But it's added a whole different dynamic because it's much less difficult to survive with a team. And I mean, we die a lot. And it's interesting because I still feel like shit when I die. I'm like, Carl got on. He's like, he got some sort of virus. And he's like, realistically, what's the problem if I just die and I come back to health? We're like, oh, you get a XP penalty now, but I'm like, it doesn't. But me being psycho, I die, I'm like, oh, it's just another notch in the belt of my fucking failures. I'm such a loser and not a real gamer at all. I'm not epic, I'm not loser. Jake's gonna be so much better than me. Everybody's gonna think I'm fucking dumb.
Yeah, he's really got some issues with you, Jake.
I mean, you're right. You are worse than me in every way.
Oh.
So, it's justified.
But Bill, to side with you, dying fucking sucks in this game. Yeah. Thankfully, with our server, we were able to kind of alleviate some of that pain.
Why is it more?
But when you say like for me, I like my whole character is going to be like the scavenger. Like we talked in our plan on how we're going about doing this whole thing. But anyway, I tend to go out very far away from home base. Mm-hmm. You fucking die out that way, you lose all your shit.
Yeah, you drop your shit.
And so y'all gotta fucking haul your ass back there and get your shit back and then come all the way back again. And then so you've accomplished nothing for a day.
The default setting for 7 Days to Die with that is that you drop everything. Your clothing, your backpack, your tool belt. You are bare naked and under-equipped every time you fucking die. And you die a lot. So you can tweak that setting to you drop nothing, which is a little easy.
Too easy.
Or you drop just your backpack, the stuff that's not readily equipped, or you drop just the stuff that's readily equipped. And that is my preferred setting because that's where your best weapons tend to be, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever you're currently using, maybe some emergency supplies. I carry wood frames as like a jumping stacking tool, and shit like that. Whatever you choose to run, like you're actually going to equip and use readily. So probably on your tool belt. So yeah, it still hurts a lot to lose that and have to go back and get it, but it gives you the option to keep something in reserve. All that tedious mining you just did, there's no risk of losing all that work because it's just sitting in your backpack.
Especially like if you're like stacked and like you're encumbered and everything already, and you lose all that shit, like it hurts. It stings, and I get mad.
And this is a beautiful example of why I'm so glad that Jake made the rules, because if I was sitting there, I'm like, well, if you're not a pussy, you'll drop everything, and if you're not a pussy, you'll turn down the experience.
No. Everyone is a pussy in this game until you get good.
That's what I would be doing, and it'd be like, if you're not a pussy, the zombies always sprint. So
oh my god!
I'm so glad that
the game would be we could
unplayable.
Listen, we could crank up that difficulty. We could crank it up to 11, and you would absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
So would I.
Maybe we do
Every
it for
night's a horde
charity or
night.
something.
That is a thing.
Every night's a horde night.
I could make every night a horde night.
But it's become like a whole new game, and it's interesting to see like those little dumb hangups that I have in my brain that I didn't even know were there. And one of them is, I got some experience, and I could perk into things. I could make myself a better anything, right? Better fighter, better crafter. And I went into crafting, and Jake's like, all right, I'm going to get into crafting, so if you guys want to look at something else. I'm like, I'm already in it. And he's like, well, you don't have to do, you don't have to not do what I do. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like,
I was like, dude, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, every fucking game I play, I do the same thing. I rush hard for crafting to have good equipment, and then I turn into like a sneaky archer or whatever.
That is my intention.
Flashbacks to goddamn Skyrim. And I'm like, I keep telling myself I'm going to do something different. And because of you guys in this game, I was like, I'm going to try it. I said, you know what? I'm just going to pump up my combat skills. I'm going to be a fucking meathead and beat things with clubs and fists. And you're like, that's a great idea. So I got that little dopamine kick. Ooh, a little approval from the cool guy. Ooh.
Oh wow, Chris really thought
That was really fun. I don't know why I thought of that movie with the that Disney movie about depression and the synapses in your brain.
Oh, yeah.
I
What?
pictured that for some
That's so
reason.
funny. And then it was Inside Out, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then later on, you're like, Chris After Dark, I should say, was like, hey, I'm gonna be a scavenger. I got like these new shoes that make me run fast, and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm gonna be a scavenger. I was like, great, we're not stepping on each other's toes. Yeah.
That's exactly how that
I
went.
found these glasses, and they're really good. They give me extra loot, and I leveled up my loot, so I'm pretty great.
That sounds
That was,
just like
that was
Chris.
actually how that conversation went down.
It was-
and then we found out that I had a second pair just for you.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm wearing them. I totally
Ooh.
forgot.
the lucky goggles.
But it's like it took a game that I liked already. Like I would have enjoyed Zombie Minecraft, and I did. I liked it by myself, but I didn't really do any ranging, because I was like, I'll just build. And then we played together, Jake and I, and we did like some operator shit. I was like, oh shit, there's a whole different element to this game. Now we have another level of abstraction up. We're playing a team dynamic simulator.
we can essentially we could literally role play it.
Yeah, it's become really fucking cool. And it sounds so, it makes me feel juvenile because it's a hang up that I had from, I'm sure, being a little kid. Like, this is my plan and I'm going to stick to it and it's what I'm comfortable with. And all it took was no internal pushing, because heaven forbid I had the willpower to change myself. It was just like, hey, bro, I mean, maybe you could specialize in something else or not. I don't care. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then I made this fucking change. I changed a lifelong habit, a gaming career-long habit. And I'm like, this is really fucking neat.
Well, that's why you suck at Counter-Strike. You're always trying to craft.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, and like for the second time, and when Frank and Lisa come back, hopefully they'll be here next week, but we're going to talk a little bit about a game that we've been playing together called Northgard. But that is a game I finally employed. I guess I swallowed my pride. I don't know what psychosis circuit I have in my brain where I'm like, I'm not going to read it. I need to beat it pure. And like, I finally read on how to play Northgard, and it completely changed the game for me. They're like, yeah, you don't have to build only one of these buildings. You can build multiple, and it stacks the bonus. And then guess what? I actually won a game. Oh, shit.
Yeah, gotta know the rules to play the game.
So I went on and I read up on some of the things that changed in Alpha 18. And it was really interesting because these devs are clearly, there's two things. Clearly they're listening to the community, which is awesome. And the other thing is some of the things that I had internally complained about turned out to be community things. So I found, like, I was trying to mine. I wanted to level up to be a miner, like mining stuff, and then crafter in my last game. And they're like, basically the only way to effectively earn enough experience to level up is to be a zombie killer. And they're like, not being a killer is a legitimate way to play the game. So we balanced it. And then they're like, oh yeah, it was really difficult to find certain resources like nitrate. Like, so instead of having them all in the same place and maybe you find it, we give them their own veins that you can spot. You dig through the thing on top of the ground and it's below you. Like, these things that we noticed as we were playing were conscious decisions to put in the game.
Well, they had to be.
Yeah. And I was like, first off, I'm not crazy. Second off, these guys are fucking cool. Like, this game is going to be goddamn cool.
This is it's been an alpha for 6 years. And there have been now 18 iterations of the quote-unquote stable alpha. And while I think, especially on our Steam sale, we're often hesitant about that sort of arrangement for good reason. It took, I got into this game because of Game Society Pimps making a hilarious, long-running, and ongoing series about it, and watching the game evolve. I'm like, a couple years of watching that go by, I'm like, okay, this is super entertaining and I love it. I think it's time to actually try it. Because I'm not super necessarily into heavy crafting or really heavy zombies. But they were just...
You're talking about the big boys.
They're just such... They make such a funny show with it. That was the main draw, but like just from everything I gleaned watching that's the other thing. I'm 400 hours into this game. For all of my like $25 that I put into it. And you Chris, you paid what, $8.50 on
$8.50, yeah.
Absurd deal. But it was worth it at its full price point of $30.
Oh, yeah.
I know this is early access, and I'm pretty sure that we quote unquote
it's perpetual alpha.
Yeah,
it's 6 years of alpha, but it's because the devs are that cool.
Yeah,
and they just keep chasing their ideal game, and they're doing it in a way totally divorced from not just AAA funding, but also AAA structuring.
Right.
They're just chasing their perfect version of this idea that they all have.
Did you have something you want to finish before I?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh,
Do it.
So they have made a lot of cool quality of life changes. They've added a ton of in-game models. Like, there's school buses now, and there's like cooler smashed cars, and like there's a list of things that we added to the game, like models, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds long. And they did bug resolution, and they did balancing, and they added new mechanics, and they did crafting. But
the sorts of things that would justify a whole new game release in the AAA world.
Yeah. The one thing that really shooketh me to my core was I was like, all right, the last time I spec'd up, the last time I got all my power-ups and perks and stuff, I did it in the wrong order, and I struggled like mid-level.
It's really easy to do that.
This one, I was like, I'm going to hit, Fortitude hard because that gives me health and stuff. They completely changed the way that you increase your health and stamina. And it used to be you perked it up. Now it just matches 1-for-1 with your level.
Oh, so every level it goes up one.
Yes, yeah. You have base 100, and then you have 101 at level 1, 115 at level 15. And instead they have what? Damage resistance perks now?
They've been there, like they had those, but like now what happens when you level up the general category, it's like you now have a 10% greater chance to dismember with fists and machine guns. That's fortitude. I'm like, I'm not sure how those are related, but okay.
Your ability to like deal damage and to control a rapid firearm, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
I know for a fact that they also added an M60 machine gun to the game. We just haven't found one yet. Buckle up.
And I will say they changed the way that you do farming, and it used to be you could just till dirt, plant seeds in it, things would grow. Now you have to create a block, a 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter block of farm dirt, and it requires 50 nitrate, which used to be really hard to find. It's much easier to find now, and 10 rotting flesh. So rotting flesh is finally useful.
It was useful for one end game meal you could make. Yeah. It was the most powerful like food item in the game. And it was like the last perk you could take in the Master Chef tree. That was the only... there might have been one. I think you could make sham with it too.
Yeah.
But sham is fucking everywhere.
It's
spam. Literally the same. Like they call it sham. Their side note, they love putting in comical names for various businesses and products.
I like
it. Working Stiff Tools. What was it? Am I Dead?
Yeah, Am I Dead Funeral Home.
Dance Until You Die Studio.
Yeah, Dance Studio, yeah.
The Booby Trap.
Booby Trap Strip Club.
Oh my gosh.
Shotgun Messiah for the gun company. Yeah, it's shit like that.
Yeah.
Drugs, pills, and drugs.
Yeah. So that's always fun. But yeah, so Rotting Flesh had very few uses, and to integrate it, and it came off of there are zombie dogs, there are dead corpses that you can loot, and they have other shit that made them worth looting, such as nitrate and bones and stuff that was useful. But that Rotting Flesh I've discarded so much Rotting Flesh in Alpha 17 and just chucked it. If I could bring it home, I would, but usually out it went. So now to integrate it into one of the most important mechanics of a survival game, that is renewable food sources, farming, was really smart.
Yeah. And so they changed some things that make the game a little harder for me. Like, instead of being able to repair my iron reinforced club with just iron, it uses a repair kit.
But they made repair kits easier to make.
Right. And I'm like, But then I remember how clearly they have considered the community and the game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let it ride. Like, we'll see how this turns out, because I think they're going to get to a good place.
Repair kits used to be, I don't remember the exact recipe, but it was like duct tape. You might have needed a wrench, I forget. Mechanical parts, like glue. Like it was 4 or 5 ingredients, not all of which were trivial. Yeah. And none of them were extra rare. But at the same time, you really only needed those repair kits for more complicated things like firearms, chainsaws, stuff like vehicles, stuff like that. So now you need repair kits to repair anything more sophisticated than the most primitive stuff. But all you need is forged iron and duct tape. And neither of those are trivial, but once you get a forge and an operation where you're getting, glue makes duct tape. Glue, but basically, you can use very basic shit to get there pretty easily, pretty early on.
I got to tell you, I used to hate making duct tape because it was glue and cloth. And how do you make glue? Murky water, not clean water, and bones. And it consumed the glass jar for the murky water. And how did you make glass jars in that game? I don't think you did. I think you can in the last one?
Yep. In Alpha 17, it was you had to smelt glass and clay.
Well, then I'm a loser.
Now you can still do it, but it's sand instead of glass.
That makes sense.
Because you use sand to make glass anyway.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Yeah, you can make jars, and you could before.
So it's pretty great, and all the images, like all the textures that they're putting out, are sharper. They talked about how they updated like some sort of blending mechanic so that the landscape terrain looks more natural.
I've seen it in action. I spent quite a bit of time mining last night, and you can kind of see them like sort of spread apart. Or like they overlap with some amount of transparency, and then they'll as you mine stuff, most of the time, like the land block will slowly erode until it finally breaks and disappears, and you move on to the next. And in that erosion, you could kind of see it stretch apart, and it was. I hadn't noticed that in the previous game, but it definitely made everything look less jagged.
Yeah,
which was good.
And these fucking zombies are still sons of bitches.
They're real assholes. I feel like they have a longer reach now.
Oh, it makes me so mad. I'm fighting this like goober who swings his arms like a chimpanzee, and I'm hitting him with a club, and I swing my club and I miss. I then sprint backwards, and he just swings his arm in a big dumb haymaker and hits me for half my health.
And causes you to bleed, and now you're fucking bleeding out trying to run away.
Running.
So you're telling me that me with a club couldn't reach as far as some stupid zombo swinging his arms? I don't believe it.
Yeah. There might need to be a little bit of tweaking in that area.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough combat to say in the new alpha, but I mean, I've had my share.
It's way too easy to bleed. I think they should make it a little bit harder for you to bleed.
That is something you can perk into to bleed less. Bandages are very easy to make. First aid bandages are a little more complicated. That actually restore some health. Normal bandages just stop bleeding.
How many times have you guys broken a leg?
Plenty.
Often enough.
None so far this game.
Okay, very cool.
I am not putting myself in a falling situation.
Yeah, I did do it. But the point is, I think, is that this game was already a lot of fun for me by myself. You can turn the game, but you can just change the dials on your private game on your own machine to be as easy or as hard or as violent or as not as you care to. Everything in between. And now that we have the server going and we're playing with friends, it is just so much better.
Yeah.
For it.
been great. I'm looking forward to more. So real quick, okay. When I'm done playing Minecraft Zombies and I'm ready to go sleep, I tend to sign off of that and boot up Banner Saga. Now, have you guys heard of this game? There are like 4 or 5 versions of it already. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's. There's a ton of them. Huh. But it's almost a click simulator. Like if you were just playing, if the game didn't have the strategic battle element of it, it would just be a click simulator. But the art, I friggin' love.
It's amazing.
Think about like Robin Hood with the fox, you know, like the Disney movie.
Yes.
Or what's another one that looks like that?
I remember all the old
Sword in
movies.
the Stone.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like that.
90s, 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s animation.
Yeah,
and
Disney
it's
specifically.
Beautifully colored. And the way that they do the travel is you spend a lot of the time in caravans going from city to city. And they draw little tiny figurines of, like little tiny images of your dudes, so humans, and also Varl, which are like giants. But they look like humans except they have giant horns coming out of their heads. And it's all Vikings and Viking themed and that kind of shit. But as they walk along, they show these little figures moving across like almost like a 2D pane, but they stagger the different levels. So, you know, the hillside that you're walking along moves most quickly. Then the second level moves not quite as quickly. Then the third level, the woods behind that. So it's that really cool effect that you can see.
It's a really great use of perspective
in Disney movies.
Yeah, that goes. Yeah, all the classic Disney movies.
Yeah, and it's got really, really impressive art, especially with the animations that happen in the back, like the lightning. And I watched a mountain collapse.
Yeah, that was like right before you turned off last night.
And every once in a while, there's voice acting in this, and it's another one where the voice acting is like fucking bang on. It's like somebody who's either doing a really good version of what I imagine is a Vikings accent, or somebody who's actually from, I don't know, Sweden or something. And all this, it's interesting story, and it's like your actions, your choices actually have consequences. So what happened last night is we were walking down the trail, and this dredge, they're the big enemy. They're like these walking automatons.
They look like Iron Man.
Yeah,
Not
covered
Iron
in,
Man.
they're like
Iron
made
Giant.
of stone armor. Jumps on my caravan and starts taking one of the yaks, they call them, but they're basically oxen, over the side of a cliff. And my best fighter holds on to it because he's a giant. He's holding on to a tree, and he's like, "It's my duty to not let this thing go over." And I'm like, "Bro, let go." And then they do it again, and like I meant to click, "Seriously, bro, let go," but I accidentally clicked, "Help get the dredge off." And what happened was, it didn't work. My best fighter went over the side of the cliff and died, and then he was out of the game. Now, thankfully for me, I mean, maybe it's a little save scummy, but they save, it does autosave, but it doesn't autosave every single second. So I went back because I legitimately misclicked. But I basically had to do the battle over again, which is penance for my sins. And then I made the choice I wanted, and he ended up not dying. But they're really like, you do feel like your choices actually do make a difference in this game. It's not like playing, I don't know, it feels like in a Telltale game you used to play. It'd be
Or
like,
like Detroit.
yeah, you'd be like, oh, well, this was going to happen. No matter what I did, this person was going to attack me. And that happens once or twice in here. But otherwise, it's like really beautifully drawn characters on a really nice world setting. And they took a lot of time to draw the art. The lore's well built out. They're like, oh, the gods are dead, but some people still worship them. The sun has risen to a point in the sky and stopped, so it's sunlight all the time now, and the dredge are coming from the north and attacking everybody. And it's got a really cool battle dynamic because
It looks like chess almost.
Well, it's like a board, and you place your units. It's all squares, probably like 40 squares by 40 squares,
Like
depending on the
isometric.
room. And sometimes there's environmental hazards, but you can be an archer or a varl or I think there's a mage at some point, but everybody has their different skills. And even if you're an archer, not all archers are the same. Like one can do a fire effect on the ground. The other one can shoot through multiple people at a time. But the real interesting thing that I saw with this game, and I hadn't seen it before, was you see the fist there? That's your strength. That is both your attacking ability and your health. So as you take damage, you deal less damage.
Makes sense.
And there is an armor mechanic so that you do the amount of damage to somebody else's power only greater than, like, so if you have 9 health/strength and they have 8 armor, you only deal 1 damage to their health. So you have to balance between getting their armor down and removing some of their power. So like I had one guy, he was 22 strength and I chipped all his armor down, but he killed 3 of my dudes. I held up 2 fingers, 3 of my dudes with 1-hit kills because he hit him for 22 damage, and then I murked him. But it's pretty sweet. And like if somebody gets downed, they're not necessarily dead, but they are injured, so they're out of play for a while, so you have to rest, and then you burn up resources for your caravan. And there's always like management role play scenarios. It's like somebody got too drunk and all the warriors are pissed. What do? Do you kill him? Do you tell everybody to eat shit? He's just a drunk. And I chose to like publicly announce that he can only drink water, right? And they're like, everyone's like, all right, fine, this is good enough. But sometimes you make a really good decision and you get more renown. You get renown from winning battles. And like what'll happen is sometimes you in a war situation, you fight the dredge, you beat them, and they go, the enemy's being pushed back all along the line. Do you press your attack or do you retreat? If you press your attack, your characters as they are fight like 4 new enemies. And if you win, you get a ton of renown, but you really could just get your fucking ass murked. So it's all about making good choices. And I think the battle-related choices are a little better than the story choices. Like, if you have to fight an army of dredge, it's like, do you charge in, which basically means it's the hardest for you, but more of your clansmen and your army and your all that shit will live, this number that you have at your screen. Or do you play it safe, so more of them will die, so your party gets smaller, your whole clan gets smaller, but you have an easier battle. I think they have more satisfying consequences, whether negative or positive, than necessarily the story elements do, but it's all really, really good. And it's $25 for the Banner Saga. I put it on like a Saturday. I put it on my watch list. By that Tuesday, it was on sale for $7.50. So I just bought it, right? And there's 4 more iterations of this. 100% for $7.50. This is a fucking breath of fresh air. It is so unbelievably cool. It's like somebody watched the same movies that I loved as a kid and said, first off, I'm talented at making the art. Second off, I'm going to make a fucking cool ass game. Third off, the battle is going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. It's like, I love this game. I love it. And it's a nice change because usually games that I think I'm going to love turn out like Railroad Empire. And my head explodes. Yeah, just build more trains, bro. Just build more and destroy them. Just build more trains.
It's a one-way ticket.
So anyhow, do you guys have any questions about this game? I mean, I know you're peeking it right now.
Looks nice.
Not really. It looks cool.
If you lose a battle, like all your boys die out in the field, do you still have the caravan afterwards, or is it just like game over, try again?
I believe you do, but you lose like a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Yeah, please don't, but yeah.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, man.
What did you get? What'd you pay for it?
$7.50 or like $8.50.
I think you've already passed the...
I mean, it's worth the $25, but it's an old enough game. It came out in 2014. Just wait till it goes on sale.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so excellent.
The soundtrack too, you like.
Steam thinks it's similar to Civ 5, which is pretty funny.
Kinda.
Not really though.
No.
It's and the soundtrack is awesome, and it's like it's very dramatic, and it matches the whole tone of like you're in this world where the sun stopped moving, the gods are dead, you're being invaded by these dredgery, you don't know where they come from, and you're just stomping across frozen wasteland in a tenuous agreement between humans and Varl to not fight each other. So, yeah, dude, it's worth picking up for sure. All right, we're going to wrap up this section. We're going to come back with everyone's favorite part, Steam sale. Haha. Catch you on the flip side.
Oh yeah.
Steam sale. All right, there we go.
Oh.
Nice quick intro for today. What are we looking at, Jake?
Exceed Games 15-year anniversary sale with a bunch of weeaboo anime people.
Yeah.
Let's dive in. I love anime. We got Senran Kagura. I haven't the slightest idea. Lots of anime ladies.
Senran Kagura.
And
Kagura.
costumes
Estival.
and things. Titans of Cold Steel. Fucking.
That's Trails.
Lots and lots of Japanese games that I've never heard of or seen before.
It might be great, but I couldn't fucking
Corpse
tell.
Party #2.
Corpse Party. Okay, I'm intrigued for $10. Let's have a look.
What is Corpse Party about?
It looks like another
Click
text game.
simulator.
Oh no, there's a map here. Okay. High schooler Ayame awakens from a coma in a seemingly abandoned hospital, strapped to an operating table. I did not pronounce that punctuation correctly. It turns out she's not as alone. She's not as alone as she thought, but she'll come to wish she were. Step into the latest episodic installment in the Corpse Party saga and try your best to survive treatment.
So you
Very
probably should get
positive.
first one.
77 reviews, came out a week ago.
Horror,
Ooh.
Interesting.
anime.
Okay.
All
and
new
it's-
storyline.
And it's $10. All right, we're watching the video. Okay.
Is this spooky Pokemon on the DS?
It looks like spooky Pokemon on the DS minus the Pokemon.
Yeah.
You're just kind of walking around this hospital. and
Why are there
there's
so many lockers?
spooky?
I don't know, but it's not on sale, so I'm taking it out of contention.
not even for $10.
No,
No.
I don't need this.
Looks
It's just
like
part of the
looks like you
Right,
walk
right.
around and look at things, and then text boxes appear, and you read them. And
Click
cool.
Simulator.
Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2 for $7.50.
Mass Effect.
Digital Deluxe Edition at that. So all the bonus Gucci shit.
I bet you can get the whole series for $10.
If you can, you should do it.
Yeah.
Is there a bundle?
$27.96
bundle.
BioWare bundle
BioWare.
for
Including
$27.
Dragon Age? What the fuck?
And Jade Empire. I love that game.
$27?
For $28, better part of. Yeah, okay.
Adding it to the cart.
Okay. That's not what I meant to click on, but I already own whatever.
Jake's committed already.
I've committed. Oh God, why credit card information? Why? The bundle, please. It's Mass Effect. Okay, fine.
That was a sexy position.
Whatever.
Why was she standing
Mass
there?
Effect 1 and 2 is that Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition, which is, I've heard okay things about, and Jet Empire for $28. If you haven't played these games, I'd say that's a worthwhile buy.
Mass Effect 2 for $7.50 is a fucking deal.
It's very compelling.
You can get Mass Effect
Mass
the
Effect 1
original-
for $5.
100% worth $5.
Oh yeah. Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's a great game.
So those two get together, you're spending probably like 13 and change after taxes.
I like how they don't even mention Andromeda in here.
Nope.
Why?
Or 3
What's-
for that matter. Jade Empire is $15. It's a little dated, I think, for that price, that being 12 years old. But I liked it a lot. It wasn't a perfect game by any means, but some Chinese mythology combined with various martial arts fighting styles you get to spec through. It was a lot of fun. So if it comes up on sale, especially, but Mass Effect I might call it early right then and there. Let's see what else we got. Generation Zero, free weekend, 20% off at $20. Looks like a mech game.
It does, but we've never seen that before, have we?
Survival. Oh,
It's got mixed
Open
reviews.
world survival mech game. I don't know about this.
Oh my gosh, is it zombie Minecraft with
Robots.
No.
Robo zombie Minecraft?
I have a feeling it isn't.
Franktown.
Frankville. Grand Theft Auto 5 on sale yet again at $15. I don't need to tell you that if you haven't done that, you should.
F1 2019, the official video game.
$35.99.
Oh boy.
If you like racing, and particularly racing games.
Well, we need to get Eric back in here because he's the European.
That's true.
He
That's
is.
true.
Mass Effect Collection 874. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, done. I do want to take a look at it real quick. Let's see.
Yep.
Oh, it's
it's
just one
It's
and
just
two.
the two, yeah.
It's still better than buying them through that bundle, though.
Yeah.
That's extremely worthwhile. You should do that. immediately.
374. Oh no, that wasn't what you
So,
said.
okay.
And that just leaves XCOM 2 at $15. Space Engineers. What's this about?
Rainbow Six Siege for $8 if you're into that.
Yeah, wait, Rainbow Siege.
That
We've
thing is okay.
seen that before.
We'll break this down because we went through 3 titles at once.
Mhm.
Rainbow Six Siege 2 is 62 gigs. I couldn't fit that. I couldn't fit Rainbow Six Siege on my computer, so I have it. I bought it for $8.
Really?
I haven't touched it. It's enormous.
The
XCOM 2
new Call of Duty is 175 fucking gigs.
That's fucking ridiculous. XCOM 2 for $15. I mean, it's worth it, but you could probably get it cheaper.
Space Engineers, though? $13.99.
We keep sniffing around this one every week.
I don't remember it. Sandbox game, engineering, construction, exploration, survival in space and on planets. Build ships, space stations, outposts, pilot ships, travel through space, explore planets, and gather resources to survive. Very positive. 55,000 reviews on Steam.
Can you?
And it is less than a year old.
Can you bang green alien babes?
Probably.
Okay, well then I'll buy it
All right.
because I want to be Star Trek.
I would need to do some more digging, but this is pretty compelling to me.
I don't know. If there's not space zomboids, dude, what would we do if there were aliens and then they were on the moon and we were on the moon and we were trapped there, but then also they died and came back as zombie aliens? What?
Double the powers.
I gave my zombrainer a zomboner.
Halloween.
Every time I
Dying
refresh
Light.
this page, more different shit comes up. Although some of it I think is from Exceed, that weird, all those weird Japanese games. Dying Light Halloween event, $13.59.
That's isn't that the better option to the Friday the 13th or the Friday the 13th game? Is that the 4v1?
I think so.
Style?
It's where it's got a bunch of different films.
No. This is that parkour game that I thought I was buying when I bought like Endless Light or something.
Oh, okay. Because there is that other horror game where you can play as all these like famous horror movie villains.
Mhm.
It's like 1v4, one of those.
Yeah.
Isn't-
Before that there was a specific what you were talking about, the Friday the 13th
13th
game where you're just Jason.
Is that the Dead by Daylight?
That's what
That's
it
the
was.
one I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen some gameplay of Dead by Daylight, and it looks just not my speed, but it looks pretty
Looks fun.
It's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. It's a nice game for other people to play, in my opinion. I think I bought this. I keep thinking I bought it, but I can't be sure. So
We'll have to check.
we'll have to see.
I think that just about does it.
Yeah, this is a short one. It's a quick one.
And I'm gonna call it right now, and this is Mass Effects 1 and 2 for like less than $9 right now. Do it.
I'd probably just go with Mass Effect. I don't know if I'd get all of them. I've never played them, but they seem the best for this week.
Definitely Mass Effect. They're essentials if you haven't played them.
I'm going with Spooky Spookum Dying Light. All right.
Wow.
Flipping this Goripto. I also have Mass Effect 1 and 2 on my Xbox.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to buy Mass Effect 1 and 2, but if I were going to, if I didn't have them, that would be my recommendation.
And you had to buy something
There
today.
was a gun to my head.
I'm lying. I'd probably just buy them both. I'd buy all 3 of those games.
yeah, you'd
Mm.
probably just like buy everything.
Do it. Do it.
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us for another episode. If you hear this and you want to get it on our server, send us a message, comment,
Access.
and
There will be an extensive background check.
you know.
We're going to pull your credit, but if we like it,
First,
Please,
are you?
please send us a
girl?
vial of your pee.
If you say yes, then
And
we
your
know you're not
bathwater.
real. Second, are you cool? If you're not, then you're just like us. So anyway, you could leave a comment on
You don't need any more.
our fucking Facebook or something or SoundCloud or whatever, and we'll make it happen because we've got some extra space. And if you end up being mean, we'll just explode
You're
you
a
or something.
douche.
We'll just terminate your existence.
Exactly. In game, though, not real life.
Destroy the opposition.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in. Eric fucked off, so he's dead to us now. Thanks, Chris, for coming back. Jake, for doing you. And Genevieve, for doing you. And man, what a good family we are. But don't forget, I always tell you, and you always sometimes forget about maybe not, but McTwisting and then also cocking, locking, and rocking them, baby. Shh.